Hi guys, it's a hot July day and I'm at Ivy Creek. I came here today, thought I'd pay a little visit to the small butterfly garden that's at Ivy Creek and see what I could find there. There are pretty flowers there, and that allegedly is supposed to attract the butterflies. Sometimes it does, sometimes it's not many there, but there is a variety of bugs there, and I like to take pictures of bugs during the summer, being a macro photographer, and recently I'm into video for those bugs, so there are always a bunch of bees there, and that's always good for me. So what we'll do today is I'll give you a little introduction to Ivy Creek in general, since you know I come here a lot and I don't really talk about the place in detail. So today I thought I would show you around just a little bit, the butterfly garden, and you'll see a few other sites while we're here. So let's begin our tour and let's take a look and see what we're up to. The centerpiece of the structures at Ivy Creek Natural Area would be the barn. And the barn is representative of a long history that would be of great interest, and we might touch on it sometimes. But we also have adjacent to the barn, there's a bat house where bats can spend the night and sleep in peace. So I guess that would be spend the day maybe, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's that little structure just to the right of the barn there. And also there is some seating areas. There's a quiet area where people come to observe birds, and during winter and cooler months there are many feeders there, but they have been removed now in the summer because bears do come through here, and there have been 2 or 3 spotted within the last couple of weeks. So the feeders are down. There is one little suet cage up there, and I see a bird. They're working on that now. There's also, more recently, an education building where they hold classes and where the administration works. There's also restrooms and a kiosk with information that contains maps and all for the 6, 7, 8 miles of trails that are here. Those trails, of course, meander through several hundred acres of woods, and you can walk some of those trails. You can walk along the Ravenna Reservoir area. So there are things to see there. A lot of turtles in the spring get a lot of attention, and I like to hunt for snakes there, water snakes there. And so that's sort of the general outline of the Ivy Creek. It's a great place to visit. It's open every day from sunrise to, well, no, from 7 a.m. to sunset, I think is the schedule. It's been around for about 40 years as a preserve and has a rich history. And all of this is my way of trying to encourage you to put down the remote control, the joystick, and come on out and visit the Ivy Creek Natural Area. Walk on the trails here and share a moment with the reality and the creatures of the forests and the fields. If you're like me, it'll do you good. I'll put a link to their website down below in the description, so check that out for more and better details about the place. The veronicastrum in the butterfly garden seemed to be the most popular this morning. In addition to the many varieties of bumblebees and smaller bees, there's a really eye-catching wasp that I've noticed here. It's a large wasp. I haven't really identified it yet, but it appears to be one of a group called the thread-waisted wasp, and the name really sounds appropriate. Its delicate waist does appear to be like a long thread. I believe this is a silvery checker spot butterfly. They're common here in July, not only in the butterfly garden here, but also throughout the area in the fields of Ivy Creek. Occasionally see them in the forest, but mostly in the fields. And as you might expect, when the butterflies are common, so are their caterpillars. Took me a while to make that connection, but these little crawlers are everywhere. This one's having trouble locating a leaf on a wing stem plant, and that's probably because he's eaten them all already, or his brothers and sisters have. There's a plant called bergamot in the butterfly garden, and if you're lucky you may see a snowberry clearwing moth feeding on these. I wasn't so lucky today, but there's a pink bergamot that grows in the south field very near here, and I've had the opportunity there to take some video of a snowberry clearwing moth. And they're quite interesting. They're difficult to photograph because they move so quickly, and they're sort of hummingbird-like in their appearance and movements. And but they're very pretty, and you can understand if you catch one that's not in flight, as the one you see here, you can understand where they get that clearwing name from. If you're at all familiar with milkweed, and there's some milkweed here in the butterfly garden as well. It's also out in the fields around here, but if you're familiar with it, you've probably noticed some bugs on the milkweed, and they're very colorful. They range from like orange to bright red with black, and they'll really, your eyes will just jump to them because they're so noticeable. And even when they're very small, they're still orange and reddish, and they get even bigger and prettier, and they come up to pretty much an inch long, I guess, when they're fully adults. Problem is they just don't do much. They don't move around much, so they're not great for video, but they're pretty good for still photographers. They'll catch your eye, and they take great pictures. There are many interesting flies around also. This fly caught my attention by the way it occasionally rotates its wings as it moves around on the leaf here. And you can notice as it puts its mouth parts down, and maybe it's eating something or maybe drinking up a little moisture left over from the dew. I hope you've enjoyed the little tour of the butterfly garden here this morning, and enjoyed seeing some of the bugs that I've had fun taking video of. And I hope you'll come back, and maybe we'll go bugging again one day soon. And when I say I'm going bugging, which is what I call my summer activity of taking pictures of the small things, I'm not really talking about bugs specifically in the scientific sense. I'm not an entomologist, but I do know that bugs is a subgroup within insects. And when I say I'm bugging, I'm not just taking pictures of those bugs. I'm taking pictures of all insects, and not even restricted just to insects, because that includes spiders and anything that's small that may be it may be a crustacean, like a pill bug, for example, or it may be if I see a teeny frog, I'm probably onto it. So I do have my favorites, of course, and some of those are bugs, like wheel bugs. But when I say I'm going bugging and taking pictures of bugs today, what I'm really talking about is that I'm taking pictures, macro photography, any little small creature that's of interest to me, has pretty colors, moves funny, looks interesting, that sort of thing. I feel like I'm about a quart low here this morning. The temperature today is in the high 80s. It's about plus 31 Celsius. Mighty good.